So the corporate officer, did you want me to start over?
I think that would be best, yes, please.
Okay. Thank you. So good morning, everyone. I call this emergency special council meeting Tuesday, May the 21st, 2024, 10 a.m. to order, and to acknowledge we are on the traditional territory of the Stahelas. So the recommendation before us here is that notice of this May 21st, 2024 special council meeting be waived by unanimous vote of all council members pursuant to section 127.4 of the community charter. Do I have a mover for that? Moved by Councillor Facio, seconded by Councillor Vidal. Discussion on that? Ready to call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Nobody opposed, so it passes unanimously. Thank you. The next item here is the introduction of lead items. There's no lead items. Next one here.
Are we going to exclude the public, number 5 next?
No, we're going into an open. We're in an open.
Thank you. Just for clarification.
Yeah. So the next item here is the approval of the agenda. Do I have a mover? Moved by Councillor Vidal, seconded by Councillor Allen. Discussion on that. So we will be going into a closed meeting following.
Thank you.
So ready to call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Nobody's opposed, passes unanimously. The discussion, which is a verbal report from myself regarding the state of local emergency. So it is my opinion as mayor and chief executive officer that due to the significant threat of an interface fire, that there is imminent threat to the loss of life and property. I have therefore ordered a state of local emergency, or otherwise called a SOL. Could I ask the corporate officer just to read out the actual official SOL, please?
Whereas there is a significant threat of an interface fire within the jurisdiction of the village of Harrison Hot Springs, and whereas the threat of interface fire poses an imminent threat to loss of life and property within the village of Harrison Hot Springs, and whereas prompt coordination of action or special regulation of persons or property is required to protect the health, safety, or well-being of persons or the safety of property or objects or sites of heritage value, now therefore I declare, pursuant to section 95 sub 1 of the Emergency and Disaster Management Act, that a state of local emergency exists in the village of Harrison Hot Springs due to the threat of interface fire and the potential harm to persons and property. Per section 97 sub 1 of the Emergency and Disaster Management Act, the state of local emergency will remain in force for 14 days until the end of June 4th, 2024, unless canceled by the mayor of the village of Harrison Hot Springs or the Minister of Emergency Management and Climate Readiness, or extended by the mayor of the village of Harrison Hot Springs with the approval of the Minister of Emergency Management and Climate Readiness, signed today by Mayor Ed Wood.
Thank you. So that's also been sent to Stahelas to make sure that the Stahelas understand what's happening here. So I've requested a meeting with the chief or council to make sure that the Stahelas understanding what's actually happening with this, with the SOL here in the village of Harrison Hot Springs. So there's a number of reasons that I called it, and I can read through them, but there will be a press release which will basically identify most of these items here. But I'm just going to generally talk. On May the 17th, which was last Friday morning, I had a Zoom meeting with the Minister of Emergency Management, Minister Ma, and that was with all of the mayors of the province here. So I just want to use some of the terms that she actually used, and she called it a very difficult week. We have 4,850 people that are presently evacuated due to wildfires in this province. We are challenging in an uncertain time. This is a stressful time. She stresses preparedness, long-term planning. We have drier than normal conditions. And we have above seasonal temperatures forecasted. We have half the rainfall and 66% of the snowpack, which is well below the normal since the 1970. So I really want to stress that this is a proactive versus a reactive measure here. This is a resort community. We can have up to 20,000 people in here at a time. We have no evacuation route. There's no fuel management, which has been done today, and we need some urgent emergency coordination to start immediately so that we are ready for the perceived dry weather that's going to come. So there are two actions which have been taken by the mayor already this morning. A contract was entered into with Sensinet, and they will be providing sensors that will look after.
You can't do that. That is an expenditure of council that needs to be approved. Stop it, Mr. Allen, you do not have the floor.
The mayor should speak.
You do not have the floor.
Order, Councillor.
I'm calling a point of order. The mayor must be allowed to speak.
That is, Mayor Wood, that is an illegal move on your
The
part.
mayor must be allowed to speak. Let us hear the
Mr.
mayor.
Allen, you do
You're
not have the
interrupting.
floor.
You're out of order.
You are not chairing
The
this meeting.
mayor is
You
speaking.
are not
Councillor
chairing
Vidal.
this meeting.
Show some respect to the mayor. He has to speak. We have to listen to him. Mr. Mayor, continue.
Thank you. The Sensinet proposal contract has been signed and executed. The materials will be here in 3 to 4 weeks, and installation will start immediately. The sensors and cameras and software necessary will be what has been recommended by our fire chief, which will look after the entire village of Harrison Hot Springs. The second contract of which has been executed as of this morning under the SOL is the retainment of a professional forester who will be working closely with this village on clearing a pathway of 50 meters along McCombs Drive. And that will go all the way from McPherson all the way to the homes right behind Cottonwood. The professional forester supports the necessary to call the state of local emergency. They are available and will help council and staff with any public meetings that we may need necessary. They will ensure that they have contractors which are available as soon as their requirements are met for cleaning up the forest here. So this involves the province land, the crown land, I should say, and it also involves some private land, which is right behind the Cottonwood residences, and
Village land.
village land. Thank you, Councillor.
Mayor Wood, may I?
Yes,
Just wanted
go
to
ahead.
make sure that they would also need to be engaging with Stahelis.
Stahelis are engaged with myself. So I will be engaging with the Stahelis, so they've been notified of this. They will be notified of the details once we call this meeting here. So again, it's unfortunate that we are where we are, and I think that the fuel management is at that level that there is imminent threat to loss of life. I also believe that the BC wildfire strategy needs to change. There has to be more enforcement to force municipalities to do fuel management. We have a fuel management report. We have an interface wildfire report from 2017, 2019, of which is identified extreme fire hazard areas, and nothing has been done to date. So I need to take severe action on this now. As threatening wildfires appear to be starting earlier and earlier, in this province, it's time to change our approach to fighting them. We've had 7 local fires we've had 7 local fires already this year. The bureaucracy and the inaction has hobbled the effects to clear the forest of fuel. And that's all I have to report on that. So I would move receipt of the verbal report.
I'll move receipt of the mayor's report.
Do I have a seconder? I will second it for conversation. Discussion. Councillor Bassio.
Thank you, Mayor Wood. Now, is this under bylaw 448 calling this today?
Yes, that is our current active emergency bylaw.
If I can.
I just remind staff, please make sure you go through the chair. Thank you. Yes.
Through Councillor Facio, or through Mayor Wood to Councillor Facio. This state of local emergency is declared pursuant to the Emergency Disasters and Management Act. So it is a provincial legislation that the state of local emergency is being called, but yes, those are still our active.
This still acts the bylaw.
Yep, those are still our active emergency bylaws. There's 2 of them, I believe.
There's number 2 on the front page of the bylaw. Authorities. State of emergency under section 290 in the Municipal Act will only be declared when it is certain that the village is unable to control the emergency with its own resources and provided mutual aid. If council decides to declare a state of emergency here, it will inform the government of British Columbia through its minister. So it says if council, I'm going by the bylaw.
Mr. Mayor,
This is it's Councillor Facio. Are you finished, sir, Councillor?
With that section, yes, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Allen.
yes, my understanding, Mr. Mayor, is that the provincial legislation supersedes any municipal bylaws in an emergency situation. And therefore, I believe that it is your authority and your right and your responsibility to take whatever actions you deem necessary as mayor and CEO. And therefore, I think you should carry on doing what you're doing to protect the village from this threat. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Biden.
I am going to read from Bill 31, the Emergency Act. Definition of an emergency means a state that is the result of any of the following: an event that has occurred, is ongoing, or appears imminent, and is caused by one or more incidents, whether or not those incidents occur in the same location or at the same time, of accident, fire, explosion, technical failure, rioting, security threat, terrorist activity within the meaning of the criminal code, force of nature, or a prescribed type of incident. The presence, suspected presence, or imminent spread of a transmissible disease or an environmental toxin, a prescribed type of event, or the present or suspected presence of prescribed circumstances, and requires the prompt coordination of action or the special regulation of persons or property to protect the health, safety, or well-being of persons, or the safety of property or of objects or sites of heritage value. I do not agree that this village is in any imminent danger. And Mayor Wood, with all respect, this appears to be, to me, nothing more than a retaliatory action against a senior member of the staff and a huge
Sorry,
overreach.
but personnel,
You do not have the floor.
I'm raising a point of order. Mr. Mayor, we cannot discuss personnel at an open meeting. Councillor Vidal is out of order, in my opinion.
I view this as retaliatory action, an
Councillor-
overreach and abuse
Councillor Vidal,
of
you're-
your
Councillor
authority.
Out of order.
Thank you.
Councillor Jackson,
Actually, I don't support this at all. First of all, would you please explain to me the numbers? The financial numbers?
the Chief Financial Officer.
Now, you don't have the authority to prove this. Now, let's get this straight here.
Just-
No, I'm
Just
not
order,
gonna-
please. Let's
I'm
let
gonna
it,
tell
let
you
order,
right
please.
now,
Order,
I'm
please.
not gonna stay on the council
Councillor,
where we have a dictator.
Councillor, order.
No, don't tell me order.
Councillor,
I'm tired of it. I'm
Councillor,
tired of it.
Councillor Jackson, you asked a question. The Chief Financial Officer was going to answer the question. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mayor Wood, through to Councillor Jackson. The SenseNet system consists of 100 sensors, 5 gateways, 3 cameras at a price of $174,500, which includes the licensing for the first year and monitoring. And then second year and third year monitoring would be $50,000 per year. And then there would be annual license renewals after that point.
See, I wouldn't have chosen that one. I lose my choice.
Order, please. Order, please. There's two. There's two.
All right.
Let the Chief Financial Officer complete. There was 2 orders that were given this morning, and then the other one was for the forester.
Yes, there was another order for the a forester for a value of $10,500 for fuel management prescription work.
Thank you.
And if you clean the fuel, where are you gonna take it? Where are you gonna take it? There's a problem in the whole province right now. There's nowhere to take that. You maybe could dump it on Mr. Hallis' property.
Counselor, order,
No.
order,
No.
order,
Please
Cleaning up
don't,
my property.
order, please.
please don't say that to me. I'm tired of it.
Then speak
You
respectfully.
are making decisions
Counselor.
via council and you can't do that.
Counselor, keep your respect.
We-
Respect, counselor. So I call the question for receipt.
Mr. Mayor, did I get a chance to speak?
Counselor,
Oh, okay.
but you moved it, so you are allowed a 3-minute rebuttal.
Well, yes, Mr. Mayor, I think that I certainly listened to Councillor Vidal's concerns, but I think that the message that has come down clearly, both from Minister Ma and everybody else in government in Victoria, and certainly from our colleagues in the councils in the north of BC, which is drier and hotter and already burning at the beginning of May, the message is that the prescribed bureaucratic procedure of waiting until an emergency happens before you take any action is no longer valid in British Columbia. An ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure. And the message coming out clearly all over BC, and not just BC, but down the West Coast as far as California is, in order to protect your community from catastrophic wildfires, it's too late if you're starting to work when the smoke is going up. You need to start years ahead and prepare well in advance. Logan Lake being a prime example of good preparation. Harrison Hot Springs, in my opinion, has been totally neglected when it comes to wildfire protection. And we're facing a deficit of many years of build-up of fuel and no action. And in fact, we have actually lost the use of one of our critical roads, being the Quarry Road, which would give us access to fires in the backcountry, which I know very well. So in my opinion, Mayor Wood is very justified in taking this action today in order to ensure that we take whatever actions are available to us with $7 or $8 million in reserve in the bank. We have all the money we need to take the action. We should take whatever action is necessary today and to try and protect this village from the possibility of a catastrophic wildfire, which will in fact blow through the village despite the government reports that say that it won't. They are wrong, completely wrong about the wind direction.
In your opinion.
And in my opinion, and in the knowledge of anybody who knows what the wind blows in Harrison, we are in danger. We need to take the action. We need to take the action now. I have every confidence in Mayor Wood's ability to take the necessary action and get something done to try and protect this community from fire in 2024. And I support him entirely. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're ready to call the question. This is for receipt of the report. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next item is the resolution to exclude the public. Order, Councillor Bidell. There's a resolution to exclude the public that pursuant to section 90 and 92 of the community charter, this special meeting of council be closed to the public as the subject matter being considered relates to the following. Section 90-1-A, personal information about an identifiable individual who holds or is being considered for position as an officer, employee, or agent of the municipality or another position appointed by the municipality. Do I have a mover?
Moved or seconded, whichever you require, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Allen, do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Facio. Discussion on that? Call the question, all in favor? Opposed? Nobody's opposed, passes unanimously. We are hereby,
Close the door. Can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting and then, just down here on number.
so one more.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm gonna move to the next one here. So the next item here is adjournment to the special closed meeting. Do I have a mover for that?
I move we adjourn to a closed meeting, Mr. Mayor.
By Councillor Allen, seconded by Councillor Bidell. Discussion on that? Ready to call the question? All in favor? Opposed? Nobody's opposed. Passes unanimously. So we are hereby closed.